In this lesson, we're going to create the rattan basket that goes in our main scene that holds the wood next to the log burner. We'll take a quick look at that so you can see what I'm talking about. And we'll go back to this and we'll model it in a separate file. So the first thing I've done is create a cylinder because I worked out the size. So it's 410 high, 210 radius, so 420 diameter. So quite square in a sense. And what we're going to do is we're going to isolate this. It's 24 sides. I've calculated that so I can so I can pick odd edges and get the right amount with no strange gaps. So I'm going to add, in fact, I'm going to convert this to an editable poly, and I'm going to select one edge and I'm going to ring it around and then loop and then chamfer that edge by 2.5 mil. And then with those ones selected, create shape from selection, linear, okay. And you'll see in my spline has become renderable because it's switched on in the viewport in the renderer. So I'll make my spline 4 mil thick. And now we have our vertical splines. And then for this one, I will select, we'll ring these edges and we'll loop them. And it doesn't select the top edge, so we'll select the top and bottom and then deselect any verticals in between. So we've just got the edge loops running around the outside, and then we'll do create shape from selection for that too, linear, that's fine. And that's also renderable because it's already ticked on. So we can make that 5 mil. So it's a bit thicker. Maybe 4 mils actually enough, and we'll make these 3 mil. Yeah, that's more like it. So what we're going to do is select these two on their own and isolate them. And then in the top view, if I go to wireframe, you can see that they're clashing. So I'm going to grab these editable splines, or these verts, sorry, and I'm just going to grab them and pull one out, or sorry, two out and two in, like that. You can probably do this with the scale tool, but I think if I just quickly do it by hand, it adds a little bit more variation, a bit more randomness to it. So you can see you don't have to be too fussy with it, just as long as they go one behind and one in front. That's all you need. So there's no clashing. And then we'll just keep dragging these. Oh. So although it looks like it's starting to sharpen all the edges up, we'll get back some of its cylindrical shape in a second once we've done this, and I'll show you how. So we'll just keep on moving these back and front. Almost done. The good thing about using splines is that later on when it comes to texturing, these all have the generate mapping coordinates you can switch on. So your wood texture that you'll put on these will flow around the edges, which is what you want, and it'll flow straight up and down these verticals. So we'll do the same thing for that. Right, so what we need to do next is copy this, and we're just going to do it by eye. We're just going to drag one up, instance it, and in the top view we'll rotate, and I have my snaps on 5 degrees per snap, so that's 15 degrees. So as you can see, what's starting to happen. And then I can just click and drag these two pairs up twice, and that should fill in the gaps. and that creates the basic rattan. We can delete these top ones where we don't need them. Obviously we've copied too many. Oh, sorry. We can just go in and actually no, we can just lift this up. That makes it a lot easier. We'll just grab these top verts, pull them up to the top, and then we have our basic basket. Now for the handles, I didn't need to make a bottom for this one. What I done was I just took the bottom of the cylinder. We'll just delete all of these faces. We're left with this bottom piece, and then just shelled that. We're never going to see it, so shelled it by 6mm up into the rattan, and then we have our bottom. So for the handles, what we're going to do is create a spline, and we're just going to draw a rough handle shape just to give us something a bit natural looking. I'm going to turn off rendering, and I'm going to drag it just to the side just to make sure that it's lining up somewhere evenly away from the geometry, and we'll drag a couple of verts over this way just so it has a little bit of bend on it. That's not too bad. Maybe we'll drag that down a touch. Do you want to go over the top? And once again, we're going to use the helix tool. So we're going to create a helix. Drag it up. Oh. And we want the helix to be the same radius. So we'll say if it was 15mm, maybe 16mm thick, so we'll go 8 and 8. And the height, yeah, we'll just do 500 or maybe 400. And the turns, we'll put quite a few turns in there. And we'll make this renderable. And we'll do that by 2mm thickness. And then what we do is grab these separately. Select this, go to Path Deform, World Space Modifier. So that's Patch Deform, click on Path Deform, and then pick Path, and then move to Path, and you'll see that that starts to create a handle. And then this is just a simple way that I do it to keep it easy. Just clone it, copy, and then just move this as a percentage along the path. So 0.5% each time should get it somewhere near and tight. So then just clone, copy, and then just move it like that. Clone, copy, repeat. You know, you could do this with a texture if you wanted, but I just want to show you how you can add detail in with quite simple methods. You know, that's given us a handle. We don't need to worry about how it finishes towards the bottom because we're only ever going to see it like that. And that's the basics of making a rattan basket.